This is Karen from Plant-Based Nutrition Movement, pbn.org. If you want any other recipes that we're going to go over today and any other resources, feel free to go there. But today, thank you so much for tuning in, first of all. We are going to be making vegan cauliflower pizza crust with homemade mozzarella cheese. So it should be awesome. I'm very excited. I think we're still waiting for a few more people to come in. But this is a time to really optimize your immune system, and all of these things are going to help out. So I'm really excited for you to learn how to make this. This is almost just as easy as ordering a pizza, right, John? What do you think?
I think it's good. It's good.
Okay. So the reason that we're using cauliflower is that it's loaded with fiber, antioxidants. It's loaded with vitamin K and C, which is good for your bones. It detoxes your liver, and so it's really, really good for you. So that's the reason that we use cauliflower. So you think we're ready to begin? Jeff, does it look like a lot of people are tuning in? I know we're a couple minutes.
Let them know how it tastes too. I mean, this is good tasting. This is good tasting food. Everybody will enjoy it once they try it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's just a matter of just
giving it having the opportunity to try it, right, and giving yourself a chance to develop a taste for it.
That's true. But I actually put it off for the longest time because most of the cauliflower crust pizzas that are out there are made with eggs and cheese. And that's something I try to stay away from or minimize. No, I don't have it at all. So I actually didn't want to make it until I started finding out that there are recipes out there. So that's what we're going to make. So
bring the cauliflower and the cheese on the camera. Let everybody see it.
Well, this is the cauliflower. There's a couple of different. Here, go back. We're not ready for that, Jeff. First, before we even begin, we're going to start with the pizza crust. But when you make pizza crust, there is instead of egg, you use a flax egg. So in order to make a flax egg, you need 1.5 tablespoons instead of egg, 1.5 tablespoons of flax. So the flax seeds, you want to make sure it's ground up, okay? You don't want to use the actual whole seed. It needs to be ground up. So I'm going to take 1.5 tablespoons. And then, how much water? 4 tablespoons of water. And then I'm going to let it sit there for 5 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how you make a flax egg. So it just sits there, and it'll get gelatinous, as they say, like an egg. So you could use this in many recipes. In baking, that calls for eggs, you could substitute it out. Okay, so while that's sitting, we are going to go start our mozzarella cheese. Okay, this is for the crust. So the mozzarella cheese, I'm doubling the recipe because I love to have my husband's making faces already. I like to have a lot of cheese around, right? We could put it on tacos and all sorts of things, right?
Yes, there are other alternatives to her cheese.
Yes. So I'm doubling the recipe. The recipe called for 1/2 cup of raw cashews soaked. If you don't have a high-speed blender. A high-speed blender like the Vitamix or Blendtec is good. But I soaked it anyway because it's easier to blend. So I'm using a cup because doubling the recipe. And so it called for a cup of water, so I'm using 2 cups. All goes into the blender. And 3 tablespoons of tapioca starch flour. And that is right here. So I'm going to double it and use 6 tablespoons. This stuff is kind of messy, right? Really messy, actually. 2, 3, 4. And I did wash my hands. Everybody's hands. 5. I hope everyone's doing well. It's a beautiful day out here in Illinois. I don't know where everybody else is from, but it's beautiful today. Okay, so nutritional yeast. This actually gives it a cheesy flavor. I love this brand of nutritional yeast. You can get it on Amazon. 2 tablespoons. So I have to add 4, right? What did I drop my tablespoon? No, there we go. Oh, nut bags are flying. Things are flying. Okay, there we go. We need 4 of these, right? 2, 3, 4. Okay, got 4 of that.
This is like a Breaking Bad episode where he's.
Well, I've been watching Breaking Bad, and I feel like a mad scientist over here. Teaspoon, apple cider vinegar. So we need 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar with the mother.
What other uses does
For
that
what?
offer? The apple cider vinegar, yeah.
Oh my God, I could do a whole show just on this. Apple cider vinegar is very good for so many purposes, but also a lot of people have indigestion. So putting a tablespoon in water, a tall glass of water, and you could add lemon and honey to it, that actually will help if you have acid reflux. But it's actually good for everybody. So a teaspoon, what did I say? Can you remember? No, you don't remember. Teaspoon, so 2 teaspoonfuls. Double it. Double it. Okay, what's next? Half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. They said it's optional, but you kind of need it. Kind of need the salt a little bit. It's not that much when you're talking about a double recipe. So I'm putting a teaspoon because I'm doubling the recipe. Okay, teaspoon of salt. And then garlic powder, half a teaspoon, so I'm doubling that to make it a teaspoon. And again, if you make extra, then you have it for other recipes. So now you just blend this up. Blend this baby up. Make sure it's sealed. Okay, so it's pretty watery. Tends to be very loose, and what we're going to be doing is, I believe we are going to put it in. I hope I did this right. Yeah, I think I did everything right. It's going to be watery, so now we're going over to the stove. Now we're going to heat it up. Part 2. Part 2 of this. Make sure I'm doing this right. Thick and gooey. Keep whisking.
Somebody made a comment, please make sure you post a recipe.
I did post a recipe.
Okay, good.
I posted both these recipes already.
But be careful, because we don't want Lou Malnati's to knock us off.
Okay. Yes, Lou's is my competition. But they don't make crust like this. Okay, back over here. While we kind of have to watch it, but I feel like it's kind of boring just to watch it unless it starts to. I wish I had another person here. Anybody from TV land want to come here? Okay, back over here. So this is the really interesting part while I'm sort of watching 2 things at once. So this recipe calls for cauliflower, a whole head of cauliflower. What you're supposed to do, and I'm going to tell you 2 ways of doing this. You take the cauliflower, the big head of cauliflower, I already took it apart. You obviously wash it, rinse it out, not wash it, but rinse it. And then you're going to just cut it so it falls into, goes into the food processor. This is one way of doing it. This is the way I made it earlier. But again, I have to watch this at the same time.
She's moving fast.
If it starts to get thicker, I gotta come back. Okay. I'm moving fast, back and forth. Okay. You're going to go back a little bit further, right? You got the whole thing? Does everybody see how it's just going into making rice and it falls on the ground?
You're making a mess. Forget the rice.
My hired helper.
Things are flying.
Okay,
like a construction company here.
Exactly. So this is really making a mess. This is the rice cauliflower. It kind of looks like shredded cheese, but really small pieces. Are you getting that? Okay. That's the longer way of doing it. But back over here, I know it's a little back and forth. Sorry. Still whisking it. It's still not thick and gooey yet. Okay. Back over here, Jeff. All right, so what you do with this, you want to go back further, please? Thank you. So you would take a pot of water, okay, a big pot of water, and make it till it's boiling.
Excuse me, we have a question. How do you cut the cauliflower if you have no cutter like that?
Well, this one I'm going to tell you a couple of things. So if you don't have a food processor, you just cut it up in little pieces. Actually, the other day I made it, and I didn't realize you had to make rice cauliflower, so I just cut up in little pieces. So you'll be fine even without a food processor. But if you put it in the boiling water, no matter how
Is that a shredding blade, by the way?
This is a shredding, and actually, so one side of it is shredding and one side of it's cutting, so make sure it's the shredding part. So then you put it in a pot of boiling water, and literally just throw the whole thing, the whole head of cauliflower, for 5 or 7 minutes. That's it. And then you strain it. This is the part I'm going to show you right now, because I have a quicker version of that. Sorry, keep on going back to our cheese. Okay, I don't know, it's not getting thicker yet, but okay, back over here. Okay, so I found a quicker version. This is amazing. You could buy rice cauliflower frozen, right? Trader Joe's, Costco, any of those places. You don't even have to cook it. It says microwave or cook on the stove. I found out you don't even have to do that. This is incredible.
Yeah, that really is amazing.
No, leave it in your refrigerator overnight. Today, I didn't even do that because I just found out about it. So then I just took the whole bag, put it in hot water. And then it's all thawed out. There's no cooking. But you can eliminate this. I feel like I'm selling something. So you can eliminate this process and just go right to this, to the bags if you want to really make it easy, even if you are home all day. But maybe you just want to make it easy. So then you're pouring, this is about 3 cups for each bag. Okay? I'm going to do 3 cups at a time. While you're watching your cheese. It does take quite a bit of time, I guess. Okay, keep whisking, it says. All right. So this is the trick to cauliflower.
We do have a question. Do you deliver or is it just pick up only?
Curbside.
Curbside, okay.
Curbside, okay. Do you see how water is immediately coming out and not even doing a thing? This is the trick to the cauliflower, making cauliflower pizza. You could put it in a cheesecloth or this is a nut bag. There's no easy way of doing it.
We're a little nuts to be doing this too.
Wait, what? Okay. So you're basically putting it in here. The whole trick to cauliflower pizza is squeezing it out, getting all the water out. See? Does everybody see how much are you getting in there? It's a workout. There's so much water in cauliflower. Hold on while you do this too. Well, it's getting a little thicker. Whoa, baby, getting thicker. Getting thicker finally. Chuck, are you seeing this? Finally getting thicker.
Thick as a brick.
This is awesome. Whoa, thick and gooey. Okay, I think they're out. Oh, isn't this look awesome? Are you gonna
beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful. Thick and gooey. Okay, now we can remove it from the heat. We're gonna leave it there. Okay, back over here. So everybody sees what I'm doing. This is the whole trick to this whole cauliflower pizza, is squeezing it until it's dry. Does everybody love that? You don't even have to, you can go right to the rice cauliflower. Isn't that cool? Who loves that?
A lot of people do.
Because now we eliminated that. I mean, I did it that way, but I'm like, that's a lot more work. It's still fresh. You can still buy it organic and whatever else. Okay. So once you think it's dry, now I have another bag to do. Okay, I'll have to figure out something else. Okay. So that's one bag. You can see it's all dry. So now I gotta do the other bag. Okay. This is easier. Just put it right into the bag. But I'll be making a mess because this is not when I'm gonna pot here. Throw it in the pot. Does everybody see this? Oh, I didn't say this is gonna be neat. Okay. So here we go again. One more. Whoa. Squeezing it out. This is really good muscles. Good for your muscles. Basically, this is the trick. Is to have it, the cauliflower squeezed out. But again, you don't even have to cook it. Like all the other recipes tells you have to cook the cauliflower. Nope. Unnecessary. We're skipping a lot of steps. What do you think, Joe? People excited?
People are going crazy over this.
Oh boy. I'm spending a lot of time with my husband. Quarantined. Right, Joe?
Yeah, it makes you really appreciate going to work.
You know what our biggest excitement is? Where's the mail? That's our biggest excitement. Okay.
That was a good answer, though.
What?
Where's the mail? I thought you were going to say something else. I got a little nervous.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta have strength for this. Can everyone do this?
Or if you don't have strength for that, just have a automatic dial to Lou Malnati's.
Okay. Is this dry enough? It's supposed to be very dry. Or until your arms hurt. Okay, my arms are hurting. Done. That was 2 bags. You end up with not that much. Like, look at, that's kind of a lot. I don't know. Anyway, I'm assuming 2 bags is like a whole. I could be doubling it. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. I've never used it before. This is a whole new process. Well, whatever. Okay, so we get that, and then we have all the spices. Basically, once you get the cauliflower, then I'm not sure if I actually doubled it and singled the spices. We're gonna play it by ear. Okay, so now we have, I put in here a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. I put some oregano, basil. What else did I put in? I put in oregano, basil, garlic. You can use whole garlic or garlic powder, whatever. So I measured that. And then I put arrowroot starch to bind it. You actually don't need it. I found out that you really don't need it. The other recipe I made did not use it, and it was fine. So if you don't have it in the house, with this whole quarantine thing, you don't need it.
Just don't put no Clorox in there.
Yeah, don't do that, no matter what somebody says. Okay. So there's all your spices. You can put it all together there. And then, ooh, let's see our flax egg. Cool looking, isn't it? Look at. Isn't that cool? Okay. Okay, one of the ingredients was vegan Parmesan cheese. You could use this, or I use this, or you can make your own. This is getting quite expensive, so I'm going to start making my own. I could actually post a recipe on how to make that. Okay, so this contains no nuts, and this actually does contain nuts. So feel free. So I used 3 tablespoons of this, and then all the other spices. Okay. Basil, oregano, garlic, salt. Okay, so I think we just mix all this together. Basically, you're just mixing it all together. This is how easy it is. This is definitely just how easy it is. Now some people, because it is, and then you can add more spices that you want. Like I actually just add, even though the recipe doesn't call for it, this is organic, no salt seasoning, and I just add a little bit more. And maybe you just want a little bit more of the Parmesan, I call it Parmesan, nutritional yeast. You can actually just taste it.
How about the other stuff, with no bagel? Remember that stuff?
You could if you want. Yeah, he
You
likes
think you
that.
should get it out?
Chef likes that from Trader Joe's. He likes this.
A couple things on there.
He likes this. Everything but the bagel.
And then the other one too.
Okay.
You know, a
All
little.
of a sudden, Jeff's a cook. I'm not really sure. Okay, and some people add flour to it. If you're going to use flour, buckwheat flour, oat flour.
Don't forget to whisk the cheese too.
No, the cheese is done. The cheese is done. Thank God. Somebody, yeah, that would have been burning. Okay, so now you have this all together. Now, it should be good enough to make the dough. This is it for the dough. So we are going over here to the baking sheet. You can use a baking stone or baking sheet. Turn that light. Give me a light. I don't know, it seems like it needs something more. I think it needs some flour. You don't need flour, but I think I didn't measure it properly because I used 2 bags.
What should the texture feel like?
It should feel more like a dough. So I am actually going to add a little flour. Just because I used 2 bags, it wasn't exactly ahead of cauliflower.
Yeah, I don't want my wife to give up her day job.
I think that looks good. So it's starting to form, okay? This is going to be nice. I'm telling you, I used the regular cauliflower. Go back a little further. I used the regular cauliflower earlier, and actually, I think this might give you more. So I could literally. We have to invite people over, but we can't. So I might have to eat a lot of pizza. Okay, so you're kind of. You see what we're doing here, Jeff? Maybe 1 bag was enough. Maybe 1 bag was enough. I'm not really sure.
Why should you be sure it's your recipe?
You know what? It all works out. That's the cool part about it. One thing about it looks like a giant football. I'm not sure.
It does taste good though.
It's really
I
good.
do enjoy it.
It's really good. And it's coming together. It's forming together. Sometimes you add a little water to it if you need to. A little, whatever. I think I used a lot of cauliflower, but that's okay. I don't care. And you can make it.
It kind of reminds me of flatbread.
Yeah, it is so good that you could use it not only for pizza. Once you make it, it could be like a flatbread. And just use it.
Is there a difference between flatbread and pizza?
Well, this is all vegetable. This is you could have kids make smaller ones, and everybody can make their own. Like, how fun is that? Yeah, I don't know. 1 pound, maybe 1 bag was enough. I'm not sure. But you know what? There's no mistakes. Right?
Hey, right. And with my wife, you get what you pay for,
Okay. So the part that takes the longest, is the cooking of it, of this part. Let me just wash my hands. Hold on. So the cooking of it, what do you call this? The crust. So this takes about 30 minutes. Go back further, John. This takes about 30 minutes in the oven. Yeah, it may not be spicy enough.
But you could add seasonings too.
Actually, we did add more. Maybe it's okay. It's always okay.
Once you bring it out and it's all fully cooked, you could always add stuff
I
to
should
it.
have tasted it.
Oregano, pepper,
That's true.
salt, whatever you want.
That's true. Let me see. Not bad. It has flavor.
Okay.
Good thing I added more. Okay. So I'm cooking that. That'll probably take about 30 minutes on one side. And then you could take a, parchment paper and flip it over.
What temperature did you put it?
375. Okay, right back over here. I made this earlier. Does everybody see it? Okay, go back further, John. You have to go back close. Okay. Does everybody see that? Can you go back? Okay. Jeff.
Any further back, I'll be on 176.
That's not a bad idea. Okay, so here's the crust. This is one whole cauliflower. It's not that big. Does everybody see that? It's a little different from making the frozen. So you're gonna have to play around with that. So let me show you the sauce I use. Any pizza sauce we'll use will be okay. I actually found this. It's like has no oil in it and low sodium. It's basically crushed tomatoes with onion, garlic, and basil. Look, it's all together. So I like that. Whoa, what's that? Okay. So then you don't want to overdo it on the sauce. Can you go further? Go back further. Jeff, no, go back all the way. Okay. So you're going to smear on that sauce or whatever pizza sauce you have. And this is one I made earlier. Does everybody see how crispy it is?
What was the brand of that sauce again, please?
Full Circle. I think I got it from Woodman's, actually, if you have a Woodman's in your area. But I like it because it has everything in it. I don't even have to do a thing, which again, we like easy. Okay, so now you're going to, are you getting everything, John? Okay, so now we're going to put our toppings on. So I actually, while your pizza crust is cooking, you can roast veggies. That's like a good thing to do. So I roasted some eggplant earlier, and all I did was put it on a parchment paper and put some seasoning on it, and that was it.
And it's all good. You can get spinach, mushrooms, onions.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to say
pineapple,
some
whatever you like.
want. Once you do this part, it only takes about 10 minutes. It's the other part that takes longer. Okay, so let's put on some spinach. Well, how about some sun-dried tomatoes? Go back further, please. Okay, sun-dried tomatoes. Now they use all the eggplant. Oh, I want mushrooms in there too. Let's get some mushrooms. Jeff, we love mushrooms, don't we?
We love mushrooms, yeah.
Yeah, I'm rethinking that this is the 1 pound bag. I may have made 2 pizzas. That's awfully big. Oh. We're gonna have a lot of pizza. You could saute the mushrooms ahead of time, but again, if you like your life easy, just put it on there. The toppings are probably going to be heavier than the pizza because I have a lot of toppings here. Trying to make it thin is a better idea. Right, Jeff?
Right, Karen. It's good though.
What do you mean dough? Okay. There's no dough. Okay, so now we are going to put some spinach. If you have fresh basil, now's the time to throw that on too.
Oregano, basil,
We'll put on that too.
pepper, maybe
I like
chili
to
pepper
chop
if
it
you
up.
like.
Yeah, or we have it afterwards, but you're right, you can put it on here too. It's just fun. And I think for kids to make their own, it's really fun. Okay, so just chop up whatever you want. Then I have some sun-dried tomatoes. How fun is that? Did I put any in? Remember me putting any in? Jeff? I did?
What? Just put on, yeah, you're all good. Just put on some more than if you want.
Oh, we can put it on. That was a test. That was a test to see if you're listening. Okay, now the fun part. The cheese! Okay, look at this.
The cheese wannabe.
This is cheese. Now there's cheese.
No, it's good.
Look at how cool this is. cool or what? All right.
And you could use that cheese for salad dressing too as well.
Well, you could.
Or, you know.
But I generally don't use it for salad dressing. Oh, here's some Italian seasoning, but I do use it on tacos or pasta or anything. Is that not good? Italian seasoning. Okay, now we can throw it in the oven. Wow, that is a monstrous, that is huge. So I think I made like 2 of them.
It's a pizza on steroids.
So here is this pizza stone. You can make it any way you want. Again, the ready-made rice is definitely the way to go since it's much quicker. Does anybody have any questions? I know, it looks like a mess. I usually do cook and everything is a mess. But while it's cooking, you clean up and you make a salad and ready to go. Any questions?
No.
It should get slightly brown, the cheese. I think it'll take about 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. Because the crust has already been cooked already. Because once the crust is crispy, that's the part that takes all the time. Now the toppings does not.
How long do you cook with the toppings about?
About 10 to 12 minutes, or depending on how brown you like it, or how much stuff you have. I put a lot of stuff on there, so it may take a little longer. But I don't think it's, by the time you call up for the pizza that you may have ordered, it's not anything like this.
No, it's a different kind of pizza. This is good. That's good.
Well, it's definitely a different type of pizza, but this is going to help you, your immune system, and it's
It does
delicious.
people aren't eating it for their immune system, okay? It does taste good and it's enjoyable.
It's the added bonus.
And it's good.
Yeah, it's delicious. So good.
And Maury, come on, want to know, can you put pepperoni and sausage on there?
No pepperoni and sausage. It'll ruin the whole thing. Now this is really good. It's delicious. Anything else? Anybody want to come over for pizza tonight? Nobody's coming over? What? Are we done? Okay. Bon appetit. Stay safe.